Is the President of India a mere rubber stamp whose only duty is to put approval whenever the Parliament sends a bill that has been approved by it? Or does the office of the President have discretionary powers? This question or doubt is being raised more often at present, especially after the Supreme Court of India set a deadline of 3 months for the President to approve bills passed by the Parliament. Of course, Parliament is more powerful than the office of the President, no doubt about that. And it should be like that in a democracy because Parliament includes representatives of people directly elected by the public. But that doesn't lower the dignity of the office of the President. In certain ways, President is a corrective force. In many areas, he has got discretionary powers. For example, the President can pardon even a person who has been condemned for death by the Supreme Court of India. That means the office of the President is not a mere titular body or a powerless body. It is the President of India who appoints the Chief Justice of India. So President has got his own powers. The office of the President has got its own relevance. In the parliamentary democracy, there are certain checks and balances. And the office of the President is also one such balance or checks. So let's take a deep look or a deeper analysis into the raging question of whether the President's office has got any particular power. Welcome to Insights. I am Hari Kumar. You know, right from the days when we got independence, that is from 1947 onwards, during the days of Constituent Assembly, the first chairman of the Constituent Assembly, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, had proved the relevance of the head of the Constitutional Assembly. Dr. Rajendra Prasad later went on to become the President of India, the first President of India. I will tell you an issue where Dr. Rajendra Prasad and senior members of the Constituent Assembly, Jawaharlal Nehru, who later became the first Prime Minister of India, and Baba Sahib Dr. Ambedkar differed. That was on the Hindu Code Bill. So, Dr. Rajendra Prasad wanted Jawaharlal Nehru to seek the approval of the public, to seek the opinion of the public. Unlike Jawaharlal Nehru, who believed in Western secularism, Rajendra Prasad was a man who believed in India's culture, who gave respect to Hindu beliefs. So there was some difference of opinion between them. And the man who intervened was Sardar Patel. And he often intervened to bring peace between the two. In the case of Hindu court bills, though Jawaharlal Nehru wanted to get the bills passed at the quickest, he didn't rush with the bill. The bill was passed only by 1955-56. In 1952, when the government went to the polls, this was one of the main issues raised by Jawaharlal Nehru. And with a thumping win in 1952, he got the approval of the public also. But at the same time, during the time of election of the president, Nehru wanted C. Rajagopalachari, the last Governor General of India, to become the president. But Sardar Patel wanted Dr. Rajendra Prasad to become the first president. And Rajendra Prasad became the first president. On certain aspects, the decision of Jawaharlal Nehru prevailed, but on other counts, the decision of Dr. Rajendra Prasad prevailed. Eventually, the Hindu Code Bill was passed, but not without amendments. There were many amendments in the bill. The Parliament discussed the Hindu Code Bill threadbare. Now, my point is the President's suggestions are not without any importance. Otherwise, Pandit Nehru could have rushed with the bill. He could not have listened to the opinion of Dr. Rajendra Prasad. He didn't do so because, there is a relevance to the opinion of the President. There is relevance, important, the office of the President of India commands respect. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was an expert in law. He was a postgraduate in law and he had a doctorate in law. You remember, Pandit Nehru was only a graduate. Later, the next President of India was Dr. Radhakrishnan, and he was a very learned man. He was well respected in the world as a philosopher. So you look at the office of the President. Initially, they were men of repute. They commanded the respect of not just Indian public but the whole world. Of course, later on things began to change. It was during the time of, Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad, who was a staunch loyalist of Indira Gandhi, that things happened to change. During the period of emergency, there were media reports that Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad signed the notification for emergency even without reading that. Actually, there were reports that the cabinet had not approved the notification, and even before that, it was just given to Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad, who just put his stamp of approval on it. So I think it was from that time onwards that the office of the President came under the cloud of doubt. So people began to ask whether the office of the President has got any relevance. Later on, when Gyani Sail Singh became the President of India, I remember there were reports in media that, quoting words of Gyani Sail Singh, who reportedly, arguably, who once said that I would sweep Delhi with a broom if Indira Gandhi asked. So he was a loyalist. I think during the regimes of such people, the office of the President came under the cloud of doubt as to whether the President is mere a titular head or whether he has got any discretionary powers. But the same Gyani Sail Singh discussed with constitution experts about the discretionary powers of his office when Rajiv Gandhi behaved indifferently to him. There were reports that Rajiv Gandhi refused to share certain important information with him. He refused to periodically brief the President's office about decisions of the cabinet. And there had been a report that during the anti-Sikh riots of 1984, after the murder of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi by her Sikh security guards, President Sail Singh was coming out of All India Institute of Medical Science. His convoy was attacked. But the Delhi police refused to register an FIR. Even the press secretary of the President came under attack. So there were reports like that. Perhaps that was why President of India was prompted to discuss the issue of the relevance of his office with constitutional experts. So that was another story. Later, when Mr. K.R. Narayanan became the President, he had sent back certain bills passed by the Parliament for further information or further consideration. So so he, I think, brought back a certain amount of respect to the office of the President. Again, when Pratibha Patil became the Honorable President of India, many media reported that she was a loyalist of Sonia Gandhi family. So these are the historical developments, historical records. We need to remember this. Only those with historical amnesia say the office of the president doesn't have any relevance. It all depends on who is there in the office. There have been people who enhance the dignity of the office of the president. But unfortunately, there have been occasions also when loyalists became president and they were not bothered about many things, or they just put their stamp of approval whenever the prime minister demanded. I'm not saying that president should lock horns with the prime minister every time the parliament sends a bill to the office of the president. But what I mean is that the president's office is not a titular institution. It has got its own relevance. Many presidents of India had proved that. So I think the present discussion whether the office of the president is a mere rubber stamp can be answered if one has got a historical sense. And definitely my opinion is that the office of the president is not a titular office. That's why I said a president can pardon even somebody who is sentenced to uh, death by the Supreme Court of India. No constitutional authority in India has got such power. That itself emphasizes. As I said in the beginning, the office of the president is a check and balance on the government. The concept of the democracy is power should not be absolute in anybody's hands. Nobody should be allowed to become an autocrat, whether it is the elected government or anybody else. But at the same time, the office of the president has got its own limitations also. So I think there needs to be an equilibrium. The court, the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature are three wings which need to maintain an equilibrium. There needs to be a healthy balance. This is essential for the growth of democracy, for the survival of democracy, and that explains the relevance of the office of the president. Meet you with updates.